Columbus, Texas was like that too, mate. Many times, you know, in Texas, the car would be brought into the arena, and someone had to drive our car the outskirts of the township and that, and the car would bring in, and many times it was a cop car, especially in Austin and that, right into the arena. We'd hop on that, and they'd take us out of the building.
And many times, if we had to sneak into a building, because if they saw us arrive in a car and saw where we parked, we'd go out and the car would be on full rims. For many times, and even in small towns, we arrived at our car to drive out on this, the four tires are slashed and the windows knocked out. No, it was horrible. I don't even want to think about those days anymore, believe me.
What was Bruiser Brody like?
We liked him a lot because he was a very rugged guy. We first met him coming into Southwest, and then, of course, down in Puerto Rico in those days. And we had a soft spot for him because he was married to a New Zealand woman. And so we got really friendly, knew the son, and we got really friendly with him. And he was a wild guy, very strong businessman, would sometimes, come in and hurt the business because he'd come in and then do an angle and then hold the promoter up. And
right.
So, but, as a guy, he was very good, very impressive, rugged style wrestler.
Machine. Once that bell went, he never stopped. Those arms and legs, you must have tapes here.
Oh, yeah.
Those arms and legs are moving all the time, and that face with that wild hair, boy. And you be under, many times in the Hemisphere Arena. We set it up for us to go against him, and he held us up. We were in the office there, and we set it up for him to come against us many times, and then he held the promoter up. But you catch those chairs or anything come down, that boot and that. Boy, if one night a fan came in, he was trying to leg dive us so Brody could get to us because he was chasing us out, and Brody had that chair up and he just swatted him like a fly. Felt like you could see that arm, big man, power.
Southwest Championship Wrestling, you had a lot of great matches down there. What are your thoughts and memories of working with Bobby Jaggers and Scott Casey and the Grapplers?
And also Manny Fernandez. As crazy as he is, you have to remember him too.
Oh yeah,
because Manny could speak the language, which was a great advantage because then it was like 75% Spanish. Now it's 85%, I think. But so he was great at that, and he was very rugged. And we had some great wars. And I love Bobby Jaggers, and they were people who you could have brawls with and still walk around the next day.
Right.
So it was good for that thing. Yeah, tell a story with the brawl, even though they were rugged and they meant something. You could tell a story, get the people involved, get them back again, and you could still keep on going. You didn't have to, so that's a good thing about it.
We had a good situation there because we had signed a contract. We told the people we had 2 televisions. We were on syndication Sin at the time, 41, Spanish. It went all up the West Coast. And Joe, at one time, had USA Network. He didn't know, Tully was there too, and he didn't realize the power of it. That's when Vince got it, you know what I mean? Anyhow, we had a good situation there because Joe, we'd signed a contract as the people thought that he couldn't get rid of us till our contract could run. So he kept bringing, as we got more powerful and powerfuler, he kept bringing people in. Hence, bringing the Drambu Express, the Fabulous Ones. He kept bringing teams in all the time. We had Blackjack Mulligan and Dusty Rhodes. Blackjack Mulligan and Dusty Rhodes. We had all these over different periods of time. They brought them in. We ran a week with them around the territory. Then we'd go back with. Well, we had Dick Murdoch there and Bobby Jaggers and Manny Fernandez there all the time.
Grapplers were there too.
Yeah, the Grapplers were there at the start.
Yeah. Right. And then they brought in like Dusty Rhodes for Austin because Dusty was from Austin. And then they brought the Road Warriors in straight off that Atlanta TV where they were killing everybody. Literally killing everybody and walking right over them. And they came in and we were the first ones ever to turn them heel. Babyface, sorry. And Waco, Texas was our first match with them. We had quite a few there. And actually, I never forget this because Hawk ended up vomiting all over the ring because he wasn't used to someone fighting back in the match. They were used to just like storming over people, and that was our style. Right. So how it was, we were both storming, if you understand what I mean. And Hawk, after a little while, he's there, and we still talk about that till today. We laugh about it because it was just. So
he went over to the ropes and puked over to the people, and one of the kids, because Kabuki was working in the same town for World Championship, for that was
Von Erichs.
the Von
Monarchs.
Yeah, that was World Championship Wrestling.
Right.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
World
And he-
class.
he world class, and that. He blew out the green stuff, and one of the kids said, "Look, Daddy, he's blowing out the green stuff, but there's chunks in this one."
Great.
That was
We still laugh at that one.
Texas was hot. We were hot, and the world class was hot.
You guys never worked for the Von Erichs, right?
Never did.
Right.
Never did.
Why
No,
is that?
we-
Just
Because we were working for them.
Right.
In fact, we first worked against Kerry and David. Was it David
Yeah,
and
the
Kerry?
the
Yes.
older brother.
No, sorry, not Kerry and David.
Kevin?
David and Kevin in Japan. That's who we first worked with before we even gone. And they said, "Oh wow, you've got to come to Texas and work for our dad," and work with us. But Southwest come along, and so that's what happened. But both organizations were doing great there, and they had some great talent. And Texas was hot.
What was Jonathan Boyd like? Did he have a car accident, I believe, at the time?
Yes.
Or was that an
Yeah.
At the time,
Oh, we did.
yeah, at the time when Butch had gone for a short time, and it was Jonathan was my tag partner and that, and we'd come into San Antonio. And we were doing the whole Texas, mainly the southern end of it, and we're doing this. And then Jonathan one night was around the corner. The next day we were doing the big thing on television to get the territory on fire, and I couldn't find Jonathan. He was staying in the same complex as me, and that we ringing up everywhere. We rang up the hospitals, nowhere. Then we rang up the pounds, and they found his car on a pound, and then we traced it back to the wreckers, and then to the hospital, and found out that he had broken his one leg and he broke both legs,
It
mate.
was a horrible thing.
He was in a body cast from his bottom of his ribs to below his knee on one side, and then halfway on the other side. So he had to help him up and down. He was in that body cast for 6 months.
So that's when I came back again.
And they did the angle where they said Bobby Jaggers rang him off the road or
Right.
something.
Right.
Yeah.